What's up, guys? Your boy Herbal is back, and I have with me my partner in crime, my host with the most. Say something nasty, Smellies.
Hello. Say something nasty. Whew. I don't know if I got anything to say.
God damn it. All right, we have Smellies here. And we are talking about, how can I bring this in? How many dirty Africans does it take to... No.
Oh.
Hold on. What was that?
Swing one.
If you have enough flies on your eyes, can you still... No.
No.
No, hold on. Does lack of paved roads mean that... What? No. Would you rather eat flies or human flesh? Well, I live in America, so I don't have to decide. But if you are an African, then you're not that lucky. Now, God, I don't know if this is bad or not, but while we're perusing on the old YouTube, I saw a video that kind of caught my eye when a cannibal vlogs his murders. And I thought, oh, this should be interesting. And then, when I found out that this takes place in no other than Africa, I thought, well, that makes sense. So, join me for another extravaganza of hunger, death, sorrow, pain, and there's also like a cannibal story too. But all that shit is in Africa already without this nigga. So, come and join me while we go on this beautiful, extravagant journey to the motherland. At least the land that my ancestors were expelled from and sent on slave ships to America. In which case, you know what? We're not going to get into that. When a cannibal vlogs his murders. How'd you like that intro, Smellies?
It was a solid intro. I'd say 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10? Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
We go for perfection around here, but, sometimes you strive a little bit less.
It's always coming back.
You achieve it.
Always the mission is first. That's the scars are getting cracked.
Though no one knew it at the time, Alexander Kinyua was about to do something unthinkable. His self-recorded videos give us a chilling glimpse into his twisted mind in the days before he committed a truly disturbing act.
Do you see a bag of charcoal? Go ahead and open it.
That's only part of it. I tasted some of it. It's tasted whatever the principle of your sauce. Just spice, soul-based spice.
So this will happens to that.
Oh, Old Bay. Should have known. Throw that shit on anything.
On the morning of May 25th, 2012, 37-year-old Kujo Bonsafo Agye Kodye, an international student from Ghana, went out for a morning jog and never came home. Kujo has spent the last 6 months...
Wait a second. Did this man eat another African? Free this man! All he was doing was taking out the trash.
Jesus Christ, no.
Okay, yeah.
This man has early onset dementia. Do not pay attention to anything he says.
Listen, I promise you, I don't. But
that's the condition.
Could you imagine that this is your fucking target, though? You're like, because I, for one, didn't realize that this took place in America. When I found out that this takes place in no other than Africa, but it's like the only Africans in America are eating each other, and you niggas come after us. You know what? I'm not even gonna get in on this. But like, when you look at this nigga here, does he look like an easy target? This nigga look like he fought for 3 blood diamonds alone. Like, come on. And he's taking this dude out? There has to be something going on.
Living with the family of one of his friends, Dr. Anthony Kinyua, a physics lecturer at Morgan State University. And when Kujo failed to return home that evening, the family grew concerned. That concern evolved into outright fear when the family discovered that Cujo's wallet, ID, and phone were still in the basement. Even if Cujo had decided to go out somewhere without—
Why was this nigga living in the basement? Can we go back to that? Why were you guys like, yeah, nigga, you in the basement? I guess if you don't have another, I guess this is like
It's
not like
bad.
a bad.
It's just kind of shitty, you know?
Yeah, I feel like this is their shit too. They're like, yeah, just put your bed down
most
all by our computer and shit. Maybe the bookcase is his.
Like, if this was me, I would have spent the weekend before moving that shit into the other room or something. Or, like, making it order. Or maybe they did. Maybe this was a shit, like just
But
pile.
think about it, bro. This nigga is coming from Africa, okay? So when he looked at the carpet, he was confused. He was like, why is there the fur of animals on the ground?
Dude, shut up.
All I'm saying is he's probably used to living in a lot worse situations, especially if he's coming from Ghana.
were still in the basement. Even if Cujo had decided to go out somewhere without telling the family, there was no chance he would have left these items behind. Feeling that something was wrong, the Kinyuas called the police. They had no idea just how wrong things were. Although the police were—
Could you imagine while you're sitting here wondering what's happening to this guy, and your worst thoughts are like, maybe he's been kidnapped, maybe he's been beaten, maybe he's been stabbed. It's like, maybe this nigga's getting eaten alive right now by another African. He's like, you don't understand. This is what I used to do in the butt naked wars. Have you seen when General Butt Naked, who was this dude that was fighting a war in Africa, who was like a general, and he said that he went to a barbecue one day and he ate the meat at the barbecue, and then he tasted the meat and he said, what? And he like went over and washed off the seasoning, and he washed off, and then he ate the meat again and tasted it, and he said he knew that the meat that he was tasting was like human flesh. And he was like, he ate so much human flesh that he was able to tell that it was human flesh by him eating it. And not only that, but he went to the authorities and ratted on this nigga. And when he ratted on this nigga, he said, I was General Butt Naked in the wars of blah, blah, blah. And I ate a lot of human flesh. And I feel for a fact that this is human flesh, and pointed to the guy. And, you know, the guy was promptly taken away.
Specifically, one time, I was very hungry and I saw the only thing was around was sticks, dry meat. When I took the first bite, I noticed it was human flesh. Yeah. So I wash up the pepper to be very sure, wash up the pepper from it to get the taste. And I got the taste, it was human, alarm, and police came and arrested the guy. And I told them, well, I was one of the generals in Liberia, and this is my name, and this is what we did to eat. I ate it several times before, though I'm converted now.
You ate human flesh?
Yeah, a lot of times, so.
I would be mad because I'm like, y'all just gonna believe, like, his excuse is that he ate human, and y'all just gonna arrest me? Arrest this nigga. Like, what? And I mean, do they even have, and I feel like that's such an African thing too. It's like, what evidence do you have? I've eaten so much human flesh that I know the taste. Okay, checks out. All right, we're gonna arrest this nigga for like selling human flesh. It's like, can we get a lab tested? Can I get a DNA test or something? You can't just say, oh, because I've had human flesh, that this is automatically human flesh. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like that, you see what I'm saying? That's some African law type bullshit. Where it's like, what is your evidence? I ate human flesh before, so I know, nigga. Checks out. Like, come on. That's what I'm saying. It's a lawless land filled with dirt people. All right.
responded immediately to the report.
All right. Yeah. Fuck him.
And sent detectives over to interview the Kinyua family and search the property. Nothing of note was found, apart from a dead fox in a container behind the Kinyua's home. This curious finding will later prove integral in the most sickening way. Eventually, cadaver dogs are brought in to go over the wooded area behind the Kinyua's home, but they find nothing. The only thing of note uncovered is the fact that red pepper flakes have been sprinkled on the ground in the house, specifically in the basement. This is another detail that will prove crucial later.
They were seasoning this nigga while they were kidnapping him? That's how you know these niggas were very... Well, man, y'all gotta calm down, bro. Y'all act like y'all haven't eaten in... Oh, well, you're African, so I guess that makes sense. Okay.
It seemed like the case was rapidly getting cold But an unexpected discovery was about to change everything. 4 days after Cujo's disappearance, Jared Kinyua, the youngest boy in the family, was down in the basement when he found something that made his blood run cold. After confronting his older brother Alex about it, Jared told the rest of the family what he'd found, and the police were once again quickly called to the scene. In an interview with detectives, Jared revealed the nightmare he found in the basement.
We're here to talk about an incident that occurred last night. Why don't you go ahead, just in your own words, tell me what happened.
Last night, right before I took a shower, I was gonna go get my laundry bag. So I went down to the basement and I opened the laundry door and I saw my blanket on top of a box. And as I was lifting the blanket up, I saw two pans for baking, and in between them was a cutting board. So I lifted up the pans, and in it I saw 3 different objects, and they were kind of black with some gravy substance looking at them, and it looked like hands and a head. And as soon as I saw that, I really couldn't distinguish whether it was a face or somebody's face I knew or something. But I looked at it and I stopped myself. I stopped what I was doing. I went upstairs and I asked Alex, come down here. And I asked him, what is it? And he said, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's none of your business and all that stuff. And he started avoiding my question.
Alongside interviewing Jared, detectives also spoke with Alex about this disturbing and suspicious discovery. As Alex has read his rights, the interview hits a slight snag.
Are you willing to talk to me after being advised of your rights?
No.
And that's, again, a yes or a no question. Same thing as the one on top. Okay, and then your initial right there. And, oh, wait, you got to read that last one. What this one says is, have I threatened you or forced you in any way to make you talk to me?
Yes.
Have I really, or yes or no?
Yes. I was.
Did you think I did? I did threaten you? Because I'm not trying to threaten you. If you took it that way.
Threatened, but I just take it as yes.
Oh, well, tell me then how because I don't want you to feel that way. So if you feel that way, I want to make sure you know that I'm not threatening you and I'm not trying to scare you or anything like that.
I'm in a confined room in an undisclosed location with behind a locked door with a CCTV TV.
The door's not locked?
Detectives.
Oh, that dude does not look intimidating.
He looks like a sloth of a man. But like, but like the way he even says yes, I feel like he was like, oh, this is my way out from when I was literally confessing, or not even confessing, but sort of snitching, right? Like he said he found hands and a head in gravy in a pot downstairs.
I thought that was the brother.
So that wasn't him. I thought this was the guy.
No, so the younger brother initially found the heads in hand, right?
Oh, so
and then they arrested the older brother because he was like, don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about the hands and head. Okay. And obviously I've been fucked up about it. I think that's what happened.
Did they find the hands in the head, or?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, well, let me make you feel a little bit better then. The door is not locked, okay?
I feel threatened.
We're in, well, I'm explaining it to you, okay? We're not in an undisclosed location. We're in Forest Hill. It's about 20 minutes from where you live, okay? It's an industrial park. And the door's not locked, and I am not armed. I don't have a gun on me at all. You can see right there. And neither does that detective.
Though there are different policies, it's typically recommended that officers aren't armed in the interrogation room. It helps calm the person being interviewed and prevents them from saying they were threatened or they were scared because the officer was armed. As well, officers don't want to wear a gun in order to lower the chance that someone takes it from them.
Your mind's a weapon.
That's a good point.
Well, I can't take my mind away. But there's no guns in here. No one wants to threaten you. Okay, so you understand I'm not trying to threaten you?
Right.
Okay.
I'll sign it.
Okay.
Less than 10 minutes into the interview, and Alex is already handling this differently than most people in this situation would. But is this strange behavior an indication that he knows something about Cujo's disappearance?
Can you tell me what happened tonight?
Yes, last week I collected a jackal or fox. It was like roadkill. And usually I trap animals. That's what sometimes I can catch, sometimes a jackal. But this morning I saw it's like a wild dog. I can give you a description for a wild dog. It's not wild dog, it's like a coyote type. Like they have fur on it. Maybe it had like a less than an inch of it fur. But my cat was outside and I just happened to be upstairs looking outside and I seen a coyote. So I figured, you know what? I remember catching that fox that was roadkill. So I got it up and, try and catch it.
Alex continues to ramble about the wild dog for several minutes, derailing the conversation and giving the officers a lot of seemingly useless information. But there's actually a sneaky reason he's done this.
You realize what your brother thought, though, right? Or thinks. He thinks that it's pieces of Cujo is what he thought.
Oh my goodness.
Did you realize he thought that? Or you didn't realize so I just said so?
He said that he saw there was something that was black in him, like he couldn't really describe it, and he said he wasn't sure. And he mentioned it to my father and mother.
Okay.
Nothing but no human skull.
Human what now?
Skull, like human parts or anything. Because he said there was a head, and I said there's a jackal head right there. The coyote forks. And the paws and the inside. I couldn't bring the intestines in because they're already eaten. Right. So it's just parts of it. And besides, I wanted to skin it, try to make like a dream catcher.
Were they parts of Cujo?
No. The dogs that came out today, they were searching and everything. I'm sure they'll pick the scent,
Alex is incredibly confident when he uses the cadaver dogs to assert his innocence. But why is he so sure the dogs won't pick up a scent in the basement? One obvious explanation actually has to do with the red pepper flakes that were found scattered throughout the floor of the basement. It's a commonly believed yet disproven myth that red pepper flakes can fool cadaver dogs into not smelling human remains. What they can do is potentially burn the dog's nose, but this would still not prevent them from indicating remains if there were any. However, as will later be uncovered, there is a far more sickening reason that the dogs didn't pick up on anything in the Kinyua home.
Because they ate all
Still,
of that
it's
nigga.
entirely possible
That's
Alex
the
believed
whole, That's the whole reason. It's because there's none of him. The only bits of him left are in their shit. Okay, because they devoured all of that nigga. The only one that didn't know they were eating him was the fucking the son, the youngest one.
the myth about red pepper, especially given some of his self-recorded videos.
Now the question is about planning the unthinkable, because now how are the new powers going to use nuclear, biological, and chemical weapons? Sooner or later, the countryside is going to be torn in battlefields. It already is in battlefields. It's slowly erupting. Picture, nobody is safe, no matter where you are. It could be even in your own room. It could be even in your own school. It could be in anywhere.
But why would your brother think there were human parts? Because he's been around animals. He said you guys used to cut up animals back on the farm or something like that.
We've cut up goats not far from here, no.
But he seems to think that what he saw tonight were human parts as opposed to animal.
Well, I showed him the carcass that I actually had, so.
He's just confused, you think?
I would say he's confused. He's very smart.
Alex quickly steals a glance at the detectives after saying this, potentially trying to measure their reaction to his self-contradictory response. With Alex adamantly sticking to his story about the cut-up animal parts, detectives decide to switch gears.
You know where Cujo's at?
After he mentioned his case, because I remember several years ago, he had a charge. I think it was something on I don't know the details specific. That's the only details I know of his case, and he never spoke about it even when he went to immigration.
Alex's rambling can also be seen many times throughout his strange and disturbing vlogs.
The sun in the sky. The sun is very powerful. Energy, the solar flares it can deliver to this planet itself. It can knock out every electronics, every mechanical, electromechanical
apparatuses around the world, even in the sky itself. Airplanes will now fly. Cell phone towers knocked out.
In an attempt to deal with Alex's knack for rambling, the detectives decide to be direct with him.
Yes, did you kill Cujo?
No.
Did you cut him up?
No.
Because you're interested to see what you said you dissect these things surgically, did you?
No. I've seen morticians do that.
Right. I mean, not because we have curiosity to yourself.
That's your response. No, but I've seen morticians do it. And boy, howdy.
Bruh, I don't know how African courts, because these niggas don't have forensics, mostly just work on word of mouth. So dudes just, I believe him, brother. He would not have done it. Let's find the next one. Like, no. Like, this nigga, no, they don't buy this shit at all. They're like, you didn't cut him up, you didn't kill him. Like, they have more information than they know. Because they definitely killed and ate this nigga.
My curiosity does not extend that far. I've been exposed to body parts at an early age. I've seen people.
Hey, real quick. If you were to cook and eat a person, how would you do it?
Me?
Yes.
Fava beans with a nice Chianti.
Interesting. Would you go for the organ meats?
Probably not. I don't know. Limit myself to like a leg or something.
Interesting. I don't know. I feel like Anna says a soup. Look.
I don't know. Then you get all the human like taste dispersed throughout it. Maybe grilled. Yeah. Smoked by like salmon. I'd give that a shot.
So here's what you would do. Okay. Like depending on what the meat does, like your ass and your leg muscles are probably used a lot, so there's a lot of lean meat in that. You could turn the ass into a nice roast. The leg muscles can be like you can cut them up into chops. You can fucking and then you go to your more fatty meats like your chest, right? Boom. And then you would go the meats up in here, up in your sides, right? And those would be like your like fillets and like your your steak meats and that kind of thing. You know what? Let me stop talking about this. Anyway.
Probably for the best.
Those brains blown out. I've seen people dead and everything.
Where is that?
You know about shockumentaries?
Oh.
On TV, you're saying?
Shockumentaries.
On TV?
I don't know what you mean. Shockumentaries is a TV program?
Shockumentary, yeah. Some of them are on internet.
Sensing that they're not going to get anything useful from Alex, detectives end the interview and conduct a search of the Kinyua home, completely unaware of the horror they were about to walk into. In the basement, officers retrieved the charred aluminum roasting pans that had allegedly had human remains in them. Not far from the pans were what appeared to be clippings of short, dark hair that had been wrapped in a paper towel and thrown in a wastebasket. In the laundry room, they find a roasting bag that could usually be used for poultry, scarred by the same charred residue seen on the pan, and treated with an oily cleaner.
This is some fucking African shit. They're like, why not just
This
throw
is
all
some
this
Hannibal
away?
Lecter
No,
shit.
bro, why not throw all this shit away? Hannibal Lecter would have cleaned all this up. The nigga wouldn't have used a fucking poultry roasting bag to try to cook a person in. But, I don't know, bro.
In the room, they also found a camo t-shirt with what appeared to be bloodstains down the front. But this is only the beginning of the disturbing discoveries.
What else do they find?
Alex's bedroom is locked with a deadbolt and marked with a wooden sign reading, "Either some greater force of terror than death must be devised, or death will not be enough for coercion."
Observe the sunlight, the shadows, the shadow.
Can you imagine being his parents?
In Alex's bedroom, officers...
What do you do with that? What do you fucking do with that?
Man, you gotta put that nigga out with a pistol in your hand. I don't know, bro.
Put a sign up above his room today. Did you
Move
read
his
it, honey?
ass out. Get a bunch of Mexicans to move his shit out while he's out doing whatever. And then just, hell no.
Find the shockumentaries he mentioned, as well as multiple leather whips, a large hunting knife, and 2 machetes. These discoveries are overshadowed by what the officers find next. On the underside of Alex's mattress is a massive blood stain, one so large that officers immediately theorize that whoever the blood belongs to is almost certainly dead. While they weren't able to find the body parts that Jared claimed to have seen, everything else the officers found in the basement points towards Alex being involved in Cujo's death. Eager to find out the truth behind this mystifying case, detectives sat back down with Alex for another interview. His explanation for the blood is shocking, to say the least.
You and I and Chris, again, we're not here to get a confession from you or anything like that. One of the things that I asked you is I'm going to learn about you, right? Because let me explain why. There is psychology to that, and I'm going to tell you why. Because let's say that someone robs a bank, and I find out that this person has a wife that's dying of cancer. Is that the same as the guy that comes in wearing a mask and puts a gun in somebody's head because he wants to get partied up with that money? Or are they the same two people?
The crime is a crime.
Already, this detective appears to be taking a more strategic approach than the previous.
All right, you guys remember what Herbal Remedy says. Every time a cop talks to you, he should be talking to your lawyer. Do not talk to the police under any circumstance. All they want to do is get a name on the fucking paper for the crime that was committed, and they want to close the crime out. They don't really care if you did it. They just care that they can get it closed out. So, always have them talk to your lawyer, but that is so true. Do you see the way he said? And this is a technique that they'll try to do. They'll try to equivocate, or like he just said, hey, is the guy who needs the money for his wife's cancer treatments the same as the guy who needs the money to party, huh? Because he's trying to get you to say, oh, there's an excuse I can come up with for this crime that would make the court either forgive me or not go as harsh on me. When in actuality, a crime is a crime. But this nigga, being African, smarter than I expected, understood what he was trying to do and said instantly, a crime is a crime. Which, he should be saying, talk to my lawyer, but, I'll take a crime as a crime. Also, I'm pretty sure he's guilty, so this scoundrel should go to jail.
Yeah, I'm getting guilty vibes. At least, certainly crazy vibes.
Man. You think a person is the best thing to eat if you're hungover? I don't think so. I feel like the best thing to eat when you're hungover is lots of fried bread and fried meats. Like sausage, bacon, like French toast, like pancakes, with lots of butter, lots of syrup, orange juice, and then lots and lots and lots of water. That's the best thing for a hangover.
Previous detectives, setting the stage for a conversation that will make Alex actually want to confess. One way he does this is by quickly introducing the idea that committing a crime does not make someone evil, and that certain people may commit crimes for reasons that are morally justified. The officer doesn't believe this, but is saying it to try to get Alex to admit to something. Unlike in his last interview, however, the detectives are ready for his rambling.
Do you know what forensic science is all about?
I don't believe what TV says too much about it. However, I'm aware that it's a hard and useful science.
Mm-hmm. Do you believe that deoxyribonucleic acid is an indicator to identify who an individual is?
That's DNA, by the way.
Okay, because you have the X and Y chromosomes, and you can also identify, the GMO sequence from it. You can extract it.
So you can tell the difference between the blood of a fox and the blood of a human being?
Yes.
What do you think the blood on your mattress should?
That's a blood from period.
From period?
Yeah, from this period.
He said that's the blood from a woman's period. Look at the look on this cop's face up here. He's like, what kind of women are you fucking?
A lot of blood. That's a heavy flow.
I don't understand. Do you think he means to be this stupid? I don't.
What woman would that be?
Oh, she doesn't say anymore.
It's more about the blood that was in
the box. The box. That's a fox blood there.
What if I told you that it wasn't? What if I told you that that was human blood?
Oh, then I have to show you exactly. Was it dried up or especially?
There's a little bit of both.
Then either that was planted there because I didn't have the fox there when my father saw me there. He told me to take that out the house with my knowledge. So we take it out because it was kind of small. So I took it out.
While searching Alex's room, police discovered a journal that contained extensive notes on how detectives and suspects commonly behave in interrogations. Some of his notes included, quote, "The capacity for resistance is diminished by disorientation. The end of an interrogation should be planned before questioning starts. The kinds of questions asked, the methods employed, and even the goals sought may be shaped by what will happen when the end is reached. The poorest interrogations are those that trail off into an inconclusive nothingness." The successful interrogation of a strongly resistant source ordinarily involves two key processes: the calculated regression of the interrogatee and the progression of an acceptable rationalization. If these two steps have been taken, it becomes very important to clinch the new tractability by means of conversion. In other words, a subject who has finally divulged the information sought, and who is given a reason for divulging which saves his self-esteem, his conscience, or both, will often be in a mood to take the final step of accepting the interrogator's values. His journal could explain in part why Alex keeps derailing the officer's questions.
So, would you say, was Cujo a violent person?
He had a tendency, I wouldn't necessarily say to be violent, but you can speak to every witness or even people who knew him.
Well, you know I'm speaking to you because you knew him very well.
No, I did not. No, I did not. I knew of him. I did not know him well. He never shared with me personal information about his life up until he got incarcerated. After then, he stopped talking. He came out much more like someone different.
In 2007, 5 years earlier, Cujo was accused of assaulting a female graduate student at Morgan State University, the same school Alex currently attends, and trying to scare her into dating him by obtaining her social security number and phone number. Cujo wasn't only expelled from the school, but he was found guilty of a fourth-degree offense, stalking, harassment, and sentenced to 18 months in prison. Toward the end of
This nigga went to prison for stalking? So he got a hold of her social security number, and he got a hold of her social security number, and he got a hold of her phone number, and was using that to threaten her into dating him? That's illegal, bro, because how is a man supposed to find love any other way?
of his sentence, Cujo's visa was revoked and he was sent to a federal facility in Texas. Dr. Kinyua, Alex's father, helped Cujo find legal representation. After his release, Cujo moved in with the Kinyuas. Although Alex is stating that he doesn't know if Cujo is violent, that's not quite true. He referenced Cujo's case in the previous interview, and even went so far as to say that Cujo talked to the Kinyuas about it.
You know where Cujo's at?
After he mentioned his case, because I remember several years ago, he had a charge. He mentioned something to my brother about the woman who got him in trouble, something like that.
Alex seems to be downplaying Cujo's dark past, and it could be because he has an unsavory past of his own.
So, you yourself were caught up in a situation not too long ago.
Got him!
At college.
Got him.
Where you were accused of an act of violence.
Right.
If I wasn't there, I don't know the circumstances behind it.
Can we just break it down real quick?
Sure, if you want to.
Well, I could be in a body bag right now. That's how I look at it. I stay with people who want to jeopardize our college experience and also our education, growth. I just happened to be in the mix of it. I could have moved. I should have moved, actually. But because of that person and their behavior, it jeopardized my safety, bringing people at unknown times.
He's not in handcuffs, is he?
Oh, he's handcuffed, definitely.
At this point, they ain't fucking around anymore.
You stop it.
It could be a watch, but I think he might be handcuffed.
Threat.
I mean, definitely I don't.
Yeah,
he's handcuffed. Yeah,
how I went about it, because I didn't go outside to look for him. He came to look for me. He came to our party. And he could have been armed, and he is armed sometimes.
So your perception is you stopped the threat. He was a threat, and you had to stop that threat. I think that's a fair assessment, don't you? Okay.
Before Alex had returned home from college, right before Cujo's disappearance, he spent a few days behind bars. Police spoke with Alex's roommate Devin Keys about Alex's strange behavior leading up to the incident.
Hello? This is Devin. Hey, sir, it's Detective Lane. So, like I was telling you before, I wanted to talk to you about Alex, and you were his roommate on a daily basis?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How long have you guys been living together?
We've been in the same dorm for 2 years, but that was my first year actually living in the same room with him.
Now, were you a friend of Alex, or you guys just lived together?
Yeah, I was a friend of his.
Okay. In the last couple years, had his behavior changed at all?
His behavior started changing in, I'll say, about December or January of this last year.
Okay. What kind of things did you see that made you think his behavior was changing?
Well, he just started acting different.
People could have been united. It's like, you shouldn't mistake with someone and me. Why? Why the did they let that go?
This is just the response that every African has when he sees, like, wait a second, your country is less than 300 years old? I think actually we're a little more than 300 years old at this point. How old is it?
Not until
1776. I guess not until 2076. Yeah.
Yes.
So we are less than 300 years old.
Before that, actually.
Okay. We're less than 300
This
years
is
old.
defo the Cannibal.
And you just want to be
This
like,
guy gobbled them up.
He sees we have computers and shit, and he's like, this is a mistake. This is a mistake from years ago. Mother Africa should be like this. We should be like Wakanda, nigga. This nigga sees one fucking Marvel movie, and he thinks, oh man, this is how Africa should be. Nah, bruh. Hell nah. Okay, look. Alright, you should have just been happy that y'all got a Kroger's and a Walmart. You should have just been happy that you're in school. Just stay out here, bruh. Instead, you decide to fuck around and start eating niggas. And I don't know what to tell you, you know?
He's obviously insane. Can we just make that point right off?
You think he's insane?
Dude is.
This nigga would have been a general if he was in Ipmando Bawe. You know what I mean? He would have been running shit. He would have literally killed a nigga, ate his heart in front of the other Africans.
You've got my vote.
Lead us, please.
You see that? He ate Anthony's heart, man.
Right. He all I'm saying is he saw another African nigga. He was like, they bucked up. It was, it's the same way two silverbacks would start fucking chest, and then they fucking boom, pow. One of them lost. The other one ate the one that fucking lost, because you know what? I'm gonna gain his power. I'm gonna gain his essence. I'm probably also gonna gain a ban and also a cancellation. Oh, nobody cares about Africans. We're good. Cool. Let's do it.
Did you ever see him have a skeleton hands? Not a real skeleton, but like a medical skeleton type of thing.
Yeah, he had one of those.
He had one of those. Now, when did he start carrying?
Yeah, he put that shit in a pot too with gravy in it. Like what? Nigga, what?
Tried gnawing on it a little bit. Fucking hell.
Oh, hold on a second. Oh, can I explain my stance on Africans? I don't like them niggas just like they don't like us. Okay? This comes maybe from all personal experience. Okay? From my personal experience, every African that I've run into has talked down on African Americans. They've called us stupid. They've called us weak. You know, they say they sent the dumb ones, and then they talk shit to our women, trying to fuck our women. So, you know what? Hey, I'm gonna roast these niggas. I don't know what you want me to say. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna roast these niggas.
Carry that around.
I'll tell you what.
When I say us, I mean African Americans, black, the you know, my people.
March, maybe.
Did he ever do anything in his rooms that were strange or out of the ordinary?
He had weird videos that he used to watch, and then he would, he had, like, chanting books or something like that.
Chanting books?
I call them chanting books because they're not, like, normal, well, I don't want to say normal religious books, but I would say something kind of like voodoo, I guess.
Voodoo kind of thing?
Oh, bro.
The videos you're speaking of, what kind of video?
Look, even if I was fucking with Africans, after I see some voodoo shit, nigga, you gotta bounce. Because that voodoo shit, I don't know, I feel like that. Do you think voodoo would be more real than any of the other? Like, if somebody's like, I'm gonna fucking set a hex on you, or somebody's like, I'm gonna put a fucking voodoo curse on you, what would you be more afraid of?
I wouldn't be afraid of, really.
If an African bitch made a fucking voodoo doll of you,
I don't
was
really
like,
believe in
every
it,
fucking day was like just genital mutilation, just fucking stabbing the fuck out of your dick and balls in the voodoo thing. You wouldn't be like, she's like, if you pay me $30
I appreciate that enthusiasm every day, man. That's dedication.
You pay me $30, I'll stop. Would you pay?
$30, maybe. It's not that much. It's like on that amount of money, it's like, you know, like just in case, you know. I don't really believe you, but for $30, I get a cover my
I'm covering my ass, and it's not that expensive, you know. Let me see. All right, you see some passion. Look, so here's how I operate in general, or how I operated in high school. Niggas would make fun of me, and they would come with the same weak shit that would be funny if you would say it, you know, one time, but 1,000 times it gets old. Oh, you're fat. Oh, you have big glasses. Oh, you're a virgin. You can't get any women. Ha, ha, ha. And then I would go after niggas' whole lives, bruh. I'd be like, hey, didn't you get caught sucking dick in the boys' bathroom over at... Oh, no, you were getting your dick sucked by that one dude. I remember that. Like, I would destroy niggas' whole lives, including the Africans that decided to come through. Yes, maybe there was a woman who I was interested in at the time, and yes, maybe one of those Africans did swoop down and snatch her up, and then was using that as sort of a way to kind of have one up on me. And I was really sad about this, bro. I was really sad, and it fucked with me, and it fucked my whole life up. I mean, you know, because I was in high school, so I was really sad. And then I was like, man, this is so, you know, I can't even talk about these guys. They have six packs and they have all this, and I was thinking about all this shit. And then something came upon me. It was like, nigga, what is Kathy Bates doing right now? Isn't this bitch begging for fucking money for these niggas' cousins? Like, hold on a second.
Oh.
And then I was like, oh, okay, I guess grass is. And then I started, I just started destroying their whole continent, nigga, their ancestors, their people. I was like, I'm glad we got sent on the slave ships, and I was going deep. And then it stopped being funny. For all of a sudden, it's not funny anymore. Come on, say I'm fat again. Come on, please call me fat. I don't want to, because then you're gonna start talking about the economic crisis in my family, and then you're gonna start talking about the child soldiers, and then you're gonna stop talking about, and then exactly. And so I'm like, cool, let's do it. Let's go from hand to hand. And then I'm like, and then it became like, you know, low hanging fruit at that point. It was like, you know, y'all got me for that first like 3 days, man. Because it's always the same thing. Whenever I think about how am I gonna roast this nigga, and it's always like, man, they're fucking perfect, you know. And then I'm like, oh, let's destroy these. This nigga's not perfect. Let's crush this nigga with my fucking hand, every finger around their fucking African necks, okay, and squeeze until there's nothing left, you know. And niggas stopped talking shit eventually. It became to the point where I would just go in. I'm like, what's up? We roasted? Man, I don't like this nigga. I'm gonna punch him. Bruh, like, come on. You don't wanna, and then, you know, even still, bruh. Now play the video. All right, fine. I just want to tell my story, all right? That my words are vicious. Like fucking knives that can cut through the sharpest or the dullest of armor. Is armor supposed to be whatever. All right.
The thickest of armor?
Thickest of armor. Yes.
Videos would they be?
War videos, like torture, stuff along that end.
Other people who knew Alex also noticed a change in his behavior. Alongside carrying a medical skeleton around, Alex started going by the nickname Mufasa. The latter fact became known when an RA had responded to...
Okay, nigga, he didn't come up with that nickname himself. That was a nigga like me. That was a nigga like me that started calling him Mufasa, and everybody's just like, oh yeah, this is this nigga's name now. I'm sorry. Just
to
saying.
a situation in which someone going by the name Mufasa had broken a window in an apartment building. But this wasn't the incident that resulted in Alex's time in jail.
The young man he assaulted down there at your dorm room, did him and that young man have a problem? Like, was there kind of tension between the two of them, or did it surprise you that he did that?
It surprised me because, like, just the other couple of days before it happened, like, they were just talking and about regular stuff, and then that happened.
Yeah, man.
In an exclusive
when it's
interview
like
with
erratic
Ewu,
like
Joshua...
that, he's got something wrong in the cabeza.
Okay, I will say that, yeah, it does, like, later on in life is when you usually develop things like schizophrenia, mental disorders like that. When I say later on, I mean, like, 25 to, like, 35? Something like that. I could still...
It can happen a little earlier, but yeah.
Yeah, for the most part. But I feel like me and you, we could develop... Could you imagine? I imagine we're both like 34 and we develop schizophrenia. I'd be so fucking mad. I'd be like, we're right here at the finish line. Damn it! It's like, nah, bro, you had it the whole time. I'd be very mad. Joshua Caesar. This nigga is snitching.
Joshua Caesar, the man that Alex attacked, talks about his close call with death.
I knew Kinyua as an acquaintance. We both went to the same school together, Morgan State University.
Joshua said that he was meeting a friend after graduation and decided to wait for her at the apartment where Alex also happened to live.
And then this nigga, you know, because when he talks about how Alex was gnawing on his arm and putting Worcestershire sauce on it, he was like, nigga, I'm gonna you. That's when he kind of had the feeling that maybe this was a little bit more different.
He wanted me to take a bath with a bunch of onions and chopped carrots.
So this dude was attacked by the cannibal guy? I just want to see him, like, if this was like a movie, like a fucking, what's that? Like a Bloomhouse Pictures, he would like pull up a fucking arm where he was like, and he did this to me, where he's like, ate his hand, and the detective is like, thank you. Thank you, I think we're dealing with a real maniac here. And he's just like, and he finds him like underneath his basement, you know, fucking naked with like bodies of everybody around. He's like doing a cannibal dance. And he's like, when I eat this heart, I shall become a god. So he eats the heart, and you see his muscles fucking tense up. And the detective is like, oh no. And so he shoots, and the bullets are bouncing off. And like, you have to destroy the cross of Babalo Baba. And it's like, he's looking for the fucking weird African cross to destroy while the dude is like throwing shit around, looking for him. Big African dick dragging against the fucking floor. And finally he grabs the cross and fucking smashes it. He's like, this is for all the blood diamonds. And then bam, fucking shatters. Then it's like Bloomhouse. African dude at the very end like opens his eyes so you know there's going to be a part 2 if there's enough money. God, let me be a director, bro. Or just give me one animator. And I'm taking down
one animator.
Just one animator that's going to be animating for like fucking 3 years straight with no sleep. Just that's all I need.
And when I walked through that door, as soon as I crossed the threshold, I heard, when I know it be God at this point now.
Nigga, what?
Put your arm up. I felt.
You can't. Okay. You can't say in your testimony, yeah, I heard this nigga God say, put your arm up.
It's like he turned this experience into a whole career, like crossless eyes.
Like, yeah, like he's literally like, and when I walked into the room, dun dun, God said, dun dun, put your arm up, dun dun. And when I did, I saw the devil himself coming after me. Dun, so when the devil comes after you, congregation, dun dun, whether it's in the line at Walmart, dun dun, in the grocery store, dun dun, trying to get a park at Costco, dun dun, you know what you gotta do, right? Dun dun, what the Lord told me to do, dun dun, put your arm up. And then they just like start dancing, put your arm up. And I put yo.
I see it. I see the light.
There's a big 300-pound bitch running down the aisle. She's 45. You ain't never seen her move. Oh! Somebody get Sister Shirley. She about to hurt herself. Put your arm up. He's like, I'm a preacher now. I just want to let. How many millions are gonna be viewing this? Like, this is a deposition, sir. I don't know why you even bringing God into this technically, because we just gonna have to go back and edit that part out anyway. I'd go to that church for the one time. Have you ever been to Church High? Have you ever been to Black Church High?
No, I cannot say that I have.
I promise you, black churches have the best fucking music, like the OG black churches with the choirs, bruh. And they have that one really hefty bitch singing, and then her daughter, who also can sing really well too. Bruh. I promise you, it's some of the best. And then they got the full band in the back. I'm fucking high as shit. Like, man, I need to fucking. I wonder if it'd be disrespectful if I hit the vape in the church. I can't lead this song.
What about Scudio's question?
Well, imagine you wake up from this schizophrenic episode and I'm an African in a village. Am I not your child too, Lord? That's what I'm screaming at.
Oh,
I'm
shit.
screaming at God. They're like, here, drink your fucking banana moonshine. It's like
And you drink it too.
I knew all of those jokes. They're like, what's specifically my job in the village? You are the top shit chucker.
Jesus Christ.
I know I am. Like, I have to stand on like one of the corners of the walls and just fucking make sure my stomach is full, just ready. When the other village comes, just chucking shit. I'm gonna be the first one taken out by us fucking with a bow and arrow, but they have not developed bow and arrows yet. So they're just like, we know how to throw sharp sticks really hard. It's like, nice. God, maybe I should really look. Maybe I should like go to a fucking doctor and be like, hey, you know, I have a really, really strong hatred for this certain people, you know, and like I really don't want to have that hatred anymore. And then like the doctors they're like talking me through. They're like, yeah, you know, but and then when we get to the actual like meat and potatoes of it, where I'm like, yeah, and the fact that Africans, and she's like, wait a second, Africans. I'm like, yeah. It's like, not African Americans? No, just Africans. Oh, you don't have a problem here. It's all good. Hate them niggas. We all do too. And then, you know, she actually gives me a medal. And then, you know, leads me on my way. The medal is like, fuck them niggas on that continent. It's like, fuck them niggas over there. And it's an arrow pointing to the country of Africa. Or the continent of Africa, excuse me. This is like, I want specifically a medal saying thank you. Imagine if this is just such a hypothetical. I take off, right? They try to cancel me with my African statements. I double down. Fucking the black community supports the shit out of me. And now at random events, I just have random Africans just throwing shit at me. And they can throw really good, you know what I mean? Because they're used to chucking different items. So they're like, you know, one dude had a fucking, like a cue stick and just was, shoo! I was like, damn, you got to dodge that one. He was really used to throwing that for some reason. And then another one grabbed like a good glump of like, what's something that has the same consistency as shit, Smellies?
Herbal, you gotta get your act together, man. This is derailing like crazy. I'm not saying you're gonna run for office someday, but...
Oh my God. You're saying that this video itself will get me canceled. Play-Doh, exactly. Imagine. They grab some wet Play-Doh and they're just like, shoo, and they throw it with such precision that I'm like, they must have thrown something of a similar sort before, you know? And it was... Yeah, Twitch is definitely not going to sponsor me. But Kick!
Over me. And so I put my arm up, and underneath my arm, I could see a man standing there with a black sheet over his head.
Really,
I was knocked unconscious.
The man in the black sheet was none other than Alex Kinyua.
Bro, imagine, how scary is it that the last thing you see is this nigga with a sheet on his head before you get knocked unconscious?
Yeah, that's maniacal, man.
I woke up and I felt a gnawing on my left ass cheek. And he was like, needs more sauce. Then that's when the pepper flicks came out. It's like, nigga, what?
Alex had attacked Joshua with a baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire and chains.
I woke up in the back of the house.
Fortunately, Joshua's friends, Mac and Meriwether, were nearby to intervene before things took an even deadlier turn.
Mac opened the door. He says, "Stay in here. Don't go anywhere." I said, "What happened?" He said, "Stay here." Then he closed the door. About a few seconds later, I hear a bunch of rumbling, dun, 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 and commotion. I didn't know what was going on out there still to that time. Matt came back inside and he said, "Come out." When I came out, there was blood all over the place. And I didn't realize at that time it was mine.
With no memory of the attack, Joshua had to ask his friends about what happened that day.
He said, Matt said, "We were playing the game when we heard a scream, a shriek. We ignored it." So Meriwether said, "Nope, that didn't sound right." And opened the door, and he saw Kinyua was standing over top of me with a knife. There was a struggle and a fight over my body. That noise and commotion I said that I heard in the restroom that I was waiting in till Max said to come back out was them fighting off Kinyua a second time from coming in to get back to me.
Mac and Meriwether bravely fought off Alex until he...
Look, bro, I'm not saying that all of these Africans have, you know, but like, look, there's no faster way to get me to sign off on some immigration shit if you're just like, listen, we can stop this stem of Africans coming into the country. And there's definitely not a problem. There's like so little numbers. Like, we have upwards of 172 Africans that come into the country every 4 years. Okay? And this needs to be stopped. We're hemorrhaging jobs to these Ghanaians or South Africans or West Africans. Pretty much sure it's not a lot of them. But still, I don't know. I feel like what do you do? Well, first of all, who was screaming? That was definitely you,
he
bro.
was,
He was,
yeah.
He was like, I heard a shriek. It's just one time, and then like
it's probably involuntary too.
That
like,
dude, that definitely
you
didn't
get hit
right.
with a bat with a chain wrapped around.
How do you wrap? It was barbed wire. How do you wrap barbed wire around a baseball bat, and your friends don't notice?
You could be living by himself, you know. You live by yourself a while, you get a little squirrely.
I feel like if you, because you have to wrap it tight as fuck, right?
Yeah.
How would you do that? Like logistically, you would have to have the barbed wire gloves, and you'd fucking wrap it and just pull, and then fucking. I feel like if you do it tight enough, there's no coming back from that, right? Yeah, Lucille.
Yeah.
He basically hit him with Lucille. But it was like an African-made Lucille. So, like, the fucking barbed wire was falling off. The fucking wood and the bat was, like, rotting. It was like a whole thing. So when he hit him, it was like, yeah, there was blood. But, you know, it broke in half after it fucking hit him over the top of the head. At least that's what I assume. Or it was just like a piece of wood with, like, you know, some chains wrapped around it that have, you know, this little sharp bits on them.
Fled to a nearby wooded area. Like he was found by campus police shortly after and charged with assault and reckless endangerment. After paying a bond of $220,000, Alex's family brought him home on May 23rd, 2 days before Cujo went missing.
Or is it 10% of that? So that's $20,000, right?
Wait. That happened only 2 days before the guy.
Wait, really?
Brought him home on May 23rd, 2 days before Cujo went missing. Joshua's injuries included a shoulder fracture and multiple skull fractures. He also lost sight in his left eye permanently.
Oh, that's why he's
Joshua credits his survival to his friends that protected him from Alex and the campus police officers that kept him awake after losing so much blood. As horrific as the attack on Joshua was, it was far from the only incident involving Alex.
I think it was a wooden bat, yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh. I beat off on your bed, and I jerked off, and I fucked on. You got something to say, man? You can look at on your bed. Hope you have a good night's sleep. PP on them freaks. Super freak, huh? You like them super freaks? Well, I got you one. It's all over your bed. Playing games with out here. Who's playing with you? Nobody's playing with you. Not.
I would kill this nigga. If I had a roommate and this nigga had to send me a video like, yeah, nigga, I jacked off all over your bed, nigga. Okay. And I would kill this nigga. Bruh.
I don't have the respect to be called no more.
So this will fucking happen so that you keep doing that shit again, that shit gonna keep happening. Listen, next time shit will be that. Here's what's gonna happen. See your fucking clothes? Go look in your bed. Fuck, I left your fucking surprise.
Yeah, just deranged.
That's just me.
I really do think that this is just funny that this was included. Because, like, I mean, I guess it's to show his mental...
or lack thereof.
Yeah, his mental stability or lack thereof, right? But, Jesus, bruh. Like, this is... Like, I mean, I didn't really want everybody to know that the nigga jacked off on my bed. Like, you didn't have to put that part of the video, right? I mean, like, I mean, while y'all may not know, but like everybody close knows specifically, and they hit.
Can you imagine being his roommate and just like waking up and he's like looking at you, you know, just fucking salivating, like, hey, buddy,
like, I can eat
cool?
This. I can eat this.
Having
right
trouble
now.
sleeping?
I'm telling
Need
you,
an
bro.
Advil?
Niggas like this, when they have a mental break and it's on the battlefield, they get completely naked and they're like, yeah, fucking weapons don't harm me when I'm covered in the blood of my enemies. And the niggas are considered war heroes, okay? He's in the wrong fucking continent, bruh. This nigga was doing that shit in the middle of fucking Wyoming. And this is what happens. Bruh, nah, he saw another African, he was like, that is a little darker than him, so it must have been a different tribe. So he was like, yeah, I'm about to fucking kill the chief of this tribe, and I'm about to eat this nigga's life essence, a.k.a. meat on body.
Devin also had some insight into this incident between Alex and a fellow Morgan State student.
Are you familiar with something when Alex maybe went into somebody's bedroom, did something on their bed? Did you hear that story?
You can say come.
Oh, yes, I heard that story.
Okay, who told you about that, Alex or somebody else?
He told me.
And what did he tell you?
He said that somebody disrespected him, so he disrespected them every time.
And did he tell you what he did?
He went to the guy's bedroom and on their bed.
Did he tell you how they disrespected him in the first place?
No, he wouldn't tell me that.
Okay. Do you think there really was an argument between him and that gentleman, or you think this is just something he was imagining?
I would say it was something that he either imagined or he just took out of hand.
It wasn't just Alex's friends who had to deal with his baseless accusations.
And right now, I'm following somebody who I thought was watching over here getting a phone call. Not even him. See right there? All in the world will make sense.
All the names are put on the board. Now, as it tells the story, and then our phones as a scapegoat has returned. And the little boy that was picked up as released the scapegoat to get it close. You must each measure your face, deal with clothes. This is another love report because people are infected now. They're infected with a virus that is going to get them, and the dream is turned to a nightmare. A very few is about.
Based on his self-recorded videos and the accounts from those who knew him, it seems like Alex's aggression was ramping up during March, April, and May of 2012, before finally culminating in the terrifying attack on Joshua Caesar. All of these incidents involve Alex taking extreme actions based on perception.
Was it this nigga Joshua's bed that he came in? Was it? Could you imagine if all this shit was done? He like burned all his clothes, came on his bed, and he's like, yeah, I just came to meet Natalie because I'm trying to... BOW! Smacked in the fucking head. He's got a knife over him. And then he's like, what's going on, bro? What's happening? He's like, he hears a whole bunch of commotions. Like, man, like that's... you gotta kill this nigga at some point. Like, he came on your bed and he's doing all this shit. And you gotta really look. If somebody is fucking with you and they're getting that out of hand, either you go to the police and make it a big enough deal, and if they don't make it a big deal, then you gotta fucking do whatever you can to stop this nigga completely and totally. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't allow shit to get this bad.
I don't know, man. I've known a lot of crazy people, and I've never he's obviously aggressive is the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of crazy people out there, but they're not all of them are like super fucking aggressive, you know? So that's a red flag. But like, how are they? What did he come on? It was just some guy that he said disrespected him.
Yeah, I think they're in like the same friend group, and I think because it's a college situation, they kind of have access to like the same dorm. They might have been on the same floor, and so he had some perceived disrespect, and he came all over the guy's bed. I don't know if it's the same guy that he I don't know if it's the same guy that he had that he hit with the baseball bat. They might have said that. It might be, it might not be. But it's the idea that he's having all of these perceived issues against him. Not his friends know that he's been having it too.
Realizing that this could be a possible motivation for Alex to have killed Cujo, the detectives dive into trying to uncover the truth behind Cujo's disappearance. Nothing can prepare them for what Alex eventually reveals.
The issue of Morgan City, that guy, you perceived him to be a threat.
It's not.
And you perceived him to be a threat. And then I asked you if Cujo was a threat, and you initially, I don't really know. Well, if he was involved in terrorist activities, if he was involved with bad people or bad things that were going on, and he's living at your parents' home, under their roof, with your siblings and yourself, how would you not say that he's not a threat?
Like in Cujo's case, as far as for him staying with our family, he stayed with our family before. Mm-hmm. He has done what he has to do, and that's when after getting arrested and all that, his behavior shifted.
But you're so vague about that.
No, what I mean is that his behavior shifted is as far as for how he went about his business. It's more so people can tell you much more whether he was much more involved with people or less more introverted.
Alex seems to be having difficulty explaining himself the more the detective engages with his logic. Perhaps it's growing harder for him to make denials. Alex then alleges something about Cujo that's somehow even more shocking than anything else revealed so far.
When you start connecting the pieces together, to me, it made more sense that, he's trying to get himself back up on his feet. Mm-hmm. However, at the same time, he may not necessarily be doing that, He may have some other ulterior motives. And
he sounds so fucking suspicious.
And we mentioned earlier that he's having troubles going to the basement to use the washer. And I spoke to him. I said if Cujo put his hands on him, and that's when I knew that something was wrong. And then I just went ahead and just fixed it. I didn't know something, but something that happened. Mm-hmm. I don't think anything happened.
How do you feel about that?
I don't feel nothing.
It doesn't make you angry?
Anger is a big thing too. Anger is something. However, don't get mad, get wise.
So couldn't being getting wise stopping the threat?
Stopping the threat could be something.
The pain is coming. The pain is going. They couldn't believe it, but now
this
it's
is what
forward.
you sound like when you try to rap.
They got their mouths zipped up because
I fucking dropped way more fucking bars than this nigga ever could even.
No, this is the exact quality of your rapping.
This is my rapping is first of all, I spit hot fire. Okay.
Spit hot shit, maybe.
Dylon. Because I spit hot fire. So you don't even know the Chappelle Show reference, bro. How you gonna talk about rap if you don't even watch Chappelle Show?
No, when they up, it's gonna get zipped up and thrown across the cut. The cut is sorted. The good is sorted out. The body's moving down it, but then now it's so distorted.
Listen, you're responsible for what happened to you.
Yeah,
Now
is.
that's TV artist Little
That's
Sleazy.
lightweight fire, bro. You feel me? He could be on Now That's TV.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, sorted, distorted. Like, yeah, nigga, that rhymes. Next. Could have been records.
You're hired.
Put this nigga on could have been. He's fucking eating ugly god. Like, what the fuck you think, bruh?
The body's moving down it, but then now it's so distorted.
Nope.
Yeah. Why you committed that act? They caused that. That's what I need to understand.
I do know that he has been manipulative and taking advantage of my father's good heart and my family's kindness.
You're not going to stand for that. Is that fair?
Right. And on top of that, he also gives those signs, like I say, classifies terrorist behavior. Well, I do know. But I know how he acts and everything because you look at my bookshelves and the type of books and material that I read. Like with him, he sat directly next to my library where I have those type of books there. And every time I notice, he would go through them and he would look at me like, he would give me a certain look. He would give me a look like he doesn't want me to find something. He hides something. So every time I'll come downstairs, he would rush to hide something. I'm like, what is he hiding? What is he doing?
He's looking at you because you got freaky shit on your bookshelf, man.
Warning, please.
Completely silently sad.
Tell me what I to put it over the top where you said, this is it.
I asked Scoot to put his hands on. Thought about it or dreamt about it.
So, was this something that you planned or was it experiment when you confronted him?
I didn't confront him. I told him already that night.
Tell me.
I mean,
what did you say?
I spoke to him briefly. We arranged my side of the room. Made him take all his shit to one corner, put all my stuff there, fixed up everything. And I just asked him some brief questions because he started working out and all that, trying to do his muscles and all that. I was like, okay, I don't fight, especially people who come to my family. I do something else.
Something else. Tell me what you did.
So he's saying I don't fight, especially people who come to my family. I do something else. So, I don't fight people, especially when it comes to my family. I do. So he's shot him.
I mean, this confession.
So how did you kill him?
I won't say I killed him. Now, tell me that's
What?
that though. So basically,
Thought he was Mr. Expert on interrogations.
And then what did you do?
After speaking to him,
did you hit him with a hatchet? Did you hit him with a pipe?
I won't go into detail.
This
It's
is
terrible. But it could be even more terrible. My family, I could be burning my family right now.
With this proclamation, Alex has fully admitted that he believes he killed Cujo in order to protect his family.
I don't know the truth. So again, you're a logical, well-thought man, right? Who was there?
I wouldn't describe this nigga as a logical, well-thought man.
Yeah, but you gotta play into his ego, right? You're not gonna insult him and get the confession, right?
I mean, I would. Like, you dirty fucking
That's
African
why you're
pig.
not a cop.
You dirty African pig. Fucking tell us what you did to the other African. You know what? Because it's another African, you'll get a slightly less fucking slap on the wrist, which is the rest of your sad life in prison. But would be better just to send him off to Africa to eat more Africans. I don't know. All this is satire. I love the African people and continents. Okay, I will be saying another one of these at the very end of the video. All this is just jokes. Cancel me if you want, or you can try to. Fucking dirty African swine.
When we took his life, just you and him, because he can't talk.
Just as the detectives start to make progress, things take a turn for the bizarre.
I talk to dead people. Well, right now, I'm not interested in talking to anyone down. I'm only interested in one person, and that's Alex. That's my only interest.
Whether or not Alex genuinely believes that he can somehow communicate with the dead, the phrasing and tone of his retort, as well as the fact that he's bringing this up unprompted in a serious murder investigation, arguably betrays his intent to be defiant. He doesn't want to roll over just yet. Detectives have to once again do their best to get him on track.
But clearly you perceive Cujo as a threat to your family. There was a point in time where a decision is made by you that this has got to stop. This is going to end right here. There's two things I don't know. Is it something that was a spontaneous because of something that he did? Or is this something that you said, this is how I'm going to fix this problem? It wasn't spontaneous.
It wasn't spontaneous.
I look at it as Cujo, when he started doing the things he did, started moving from house to house, then I knew that something was up. And his personality, just based on his character analysis that I was conducting, I was like, something's about to go, and I knew it was either my family, period. He gotta go. And I just played some music and went to work.
I know what you mean by you want to work, but I need you to explain to me how you want to work.
I'll give you that with a cigarette and a tape recorder.
After hours of grueling investigation and interrogations, Alex is finally willing to give up the details of this crime. However, no one was prepared for the depths of his depravity, nor the stomach-churning reality of what happened to Cujo Codier.
Are you ready for what happened to this nigga?
I don't know. I really don't know. Because it's going to be nasty, whatever it is. It's going to be some Fargo level shit.
They have been building it up so hard. What if it's just the most simple? All right.
No. They found that fucking baking bag. Okay, man? Some shit went down.
Something. He put his dick and balls in that bag. All right.
It seems the officers take Alex outside for a cigarette and continue recording the audio of his disturbing confession.
Where did Cujo want to go? You're not going to find this body. Can you tell me? I mean, I can direct you to one. Okay, where is it? It's right under your nose. Not at the police station. No. Okay, where? Well, one is in my stomach, but is it
one is in my stomach.
In your stomach?
In your stomach.
Need some nourishment. Are you fasting? Are you starving? Are you hungry? What's going on? You will go eat food when you want to go eat food. You are wrong, man. What part was that? What part was hot?
As startling as
it was.
I knew it because that's literally what the. Okay, I say that as a joke, but that's literally what they do. They eat the heart to gain power because that's where they believe the warrior's heart comes from. It's supposed to still be beating them.
This admission is, Alex isn't done with the horrifying reveals.
When did that happen? Yesterday. Yesterday? The other body parts, are they, can you give me an idea where they are? I really don't. You might find them. Did you put them in the rest of the body? Is it the rest of the body itself? You just cut out certain parts? Or? It's dissected. That's dissected? So I mean, what charges am I facing right now? I mean, I'm already facing 30 years. So, what charges am I facing? What charges we
Yes, penalty.
What you're telling me, you took his life, yes?
Okay. So
I'm asking. I know it was rhetorical. I shouldn't have said that. Did you take his life?
I mean, he's not in existence.
Okay.
I could have helped him fake his death.
Well, obviously, that would be murder charges. I mean, you're a smart guy. I mean, you know what they're basically going to be.
Let me go tell you.
If you can tell me, are there pieces of Cujo in or around your house? Excuse me.
Is that
yes?
You looking for his head?
Yes.
Well, his head is taken care of.
Is it in the? How is it taken care of? Can you tell me any more than that?
His head is. Do you have anybody at the house right now? Mm-hmm. Can you get him on the phone?
Sure.
Through the phone, Alex guides the officer to his gruesome leftovers.
Okay. What?
He walks him right to it.
Bruh. Could you imagine?
Imagine being the guy in the house, like, talking to him on the phone, like...
When the interrogator tells you you're a smart guy, you should be worried. Yeah, exactly. Man, it's like literally when somebody's making a car sale and it's just going too good, you're just like, oh yeah, no, it'll be... No, you're getting screwed somehow. Okay? These things should never go good.
Go to the dining room. Okay, there's a big cabinet, a white cabinet that has like glass shelves on it. You see the white shelves? Now go to the bottom, move the box of books over there. At the bottom of the cabinet, move the boxes and open open one of the shelves. Do you see a bag of charcoal? Go ahead and open it.
What is it, Alex?
Do you see it?
Yeah, got it.
Okay.
What is this inside the bag? What exactly?
Is that what we're looking for?
That's the only part.
That's the only part?
After recovering Cujo's severed hands and head, the officers were set on retrieving the rest of his remains.
Did you just
Alex
hear
revealed
him?
that he
What
disposed
is it,
of...
Alex?
It's his hands and fucking head. Alex revealed that he disposed
but in the
of
dumpster of a nearby church,
Damn.
and went so far as to brag that the chances of recovering it were slim to none. However, when officers investigated the dumpster for themselves, they discovered 2 duffel bags inside, infested with maggots. As they tried to remove one of the bags, it tore, and the officers were forced to watch in silent horror as Cujo's torso slid out and hit the pavement.
Oh, you got fucking Officer fucking Butkus and Officer Sundry like, hey, get the bag up. Hey, you gotta support it from the... Oh my God. Oh. There's African nigga corpse all over the fucking pavement of this church. And it's Sunday when Sunday school kids just came out. They're like, ah! The kids.
Nothing to see, nothing
like,
to see
get the
here.
kids back, Sundry. They're like, hey, back up now. It's like the fattest fucking most incompetent officers you have. Bruh, no.
Just wanted to, before we were outside talking, Alex was telling me, I'm just gonna put the same report right on the table, okay, Alex? Sure. Alex, if you can, since Tom wasn't sitting here just a second ago, just run through that with what you're telling the other detective.
Alex begins eagerly recounting a story so disgusting and despicable, it far outshines everything the detectives have learned thus far. Alex no longer has anything to hide, and as a consequence, he finally discusses in detail what happened the night he slaughtered Cujo. And it's more horrifying than anyone imagined.
It's that night, after everything took place. We didn't argue anything, but I did tell him, I'm not going to speak about anything about cannibalism. It was more so about him being, I asked him if he knows about cannibals, and he said he's heard of them and he'd find out. So I asked him, is he ready to die? And he's like, no, he's not ready to die. So, too bad you made the angel of death.
And then what did you do, Alex?
Well, that night.
I asked him if he was ready to die. He said no. And I said, too bad. He met the angel of death. Nigga, what?
You know, I know he's into gospel and everything, so play some gospel music. And then he was sleeping. Came at him. You know, I stood over him. And, you know, went to work with took the axe.
Did he break the axe off on this nigga's whole body?
Just went to work on his head. And hit him about twice. And then after that, I let him bleed out. And then took his heart off. After I took his heart off, got my knife, cut him off.
Oh,
This
this is
complete
actually
lack of
making me a
emotion
little
is
sick.
deeply disturbing. But then again, not quite as disturbing as his choice to play Cujo's favorite music while butchering him. Was he trying to give Cujo a final moment of peace before his execution? Or was he mocking his victim before sending him to his grave?
Definitely
Regardless,
the second
this
one.
sick preparation must have given Alex time to pause, to reconsider his actions, or even to selfishly consider that his next act would alter the course of his own life for good. But given that he chose to stand over Cujo in these moments, it seems more likely that Alex enjoyed this part of the process as well. He then proceeded to swing the same long-handle axe he used to cut trees into Cujo's face, then cut him up the way he would the animals he trapped in his backyard.
How did you get the parts outside?
Just walk.
I mean, did you program anything?
Wrapped him up in a bag.
And took him where?
To the church.
Any particular reason down the church? Meaning, you know, is there any particular reason that you did that?
Unsymbolic.
You know, there was an issue with your brother. Finding some things, tell me about that.
Not what he found. He doesn't know, so.
Probably smart enough. Like you are really smart.
Not that smart, but he doesn't know the circumstances behind it because sometimes his judgment clouds him. He may not have seen because when I'm not around, he's the second, at least say the second in charge. And if he can't recognize the threats on his own family, then what is he going to do?
What do you think should happen to you for this?
Put me in insane asylum. I don't know.
Are you insane?
No, I'm not. However, the action conducted may look insane towards society. But basically what I do is ancient, right? I'm getting rid of
People who want to be put in insane asylums instead of going to prison have no idea how bad insane asylums are. You're kept in a drug-induced state, facilities are most likely filthy, and you're there for the rest of your life. You're basically thrown away. So wanting that over prison, it's basically the same thing. It's like carrots and potatoes, you know? Thoughts on that, Smellies?
You ever see One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
Yeah, don't they lobotomize?
Jack Nicholson, yeah.
It's pretty depressing. Fuck Nurse Ratched. They actually came out with a Nurse Ratched like spin-off movie where it was.
Oh yeah, I think I watched a couple episodes. It was mid.
It's a series? Oh, it's a series. Is it mid?
I think so.
All right, well, too bad.
Let's go.
And that's the way you look at Cujo.
That's ancient justice.
Though Alex may be basking in his crime, he seems lucid and afraid of punishment enough to minimize his own sentence by recommending he be remanded to a psychiatric facility. Even with everything he's revealed so far, Alex still had one last sickening detail to share.
No, he'd be in like a criminally, like a violent, insane.
Yeah, like I said, it would be consistently medicated 24/7, tied down, with other people who were medically you know, insane and medically like, what's the word? Like medically sedated and shit. Like it would be hell.
Yes, this was totally symbolic on your part. You're cooking its head and hands. You removed the sands from his body so that they could not touch anyone anymore. I guess his head disgusts you. And you wanted to.
I feel like the detectives just
to deform the head.
Like you already got the confession.
Eat something. And you ate his heart.
That's the only part I did eat. I didn't eat his head. I tasted something. It's tasted whatever. Put some barbecue sauce.
Did you use some barbecue sauce?
It's some spice, whole baked spice, whole baked, some sea salt.
How do you feel now?
Just as it's there. That's not good.
As sickening as this reveal is, it also could potentially answer one of the remaining questions. The police brought cadaver dogs to the Kinyua home, and they did not indicate that there were any human remains. And yet, Alex had butchered and eaten parts of Cujo in the home, and he had...
These are the worst dogs ever.
You had one job, Pluto. You had one job, Pluto.
But the way he even says it, hold on. The way he even says it, though, is like, but there were pallets of butchered human remains.
And yet, Alex had butchered and eaten parts of Cujo in the home, and he had a blood-covered mattress in his room. The reason the dogs didn't pick up on the scent could be due to the dog's training and experience, as well as the training and expertise of the handler.
What?
If a dog is not well trained, or if the dog is being used in a situation for which it is not trained, such as live detection versus human remains detection, the dog is likely to fail. It's also important to note that by cooking and seasoning the body parts, much of the scent of the remains was destroyed. The dogs look for things.
Remember, HerbalRemedyS fam, if you kill a person, even if you're not a cannibal, you season that nigga before you hide him wherever, because the dogs will just think it's a pork roast, and they'll leave it alone. Okay? What? You add a little bit of salt and some Old Bay, and then now automatically the body is not able to be discovered by dogs because they think it's a fucking like roast. Like, come on.
Things like skin cells and cooking would destroy them, potentially throwing off the dog's ability to detect the remains. However, alone, spices and cooking will not prevent a properly trained dog and handler team from finding human remains.
That's exactly what it
After
is.
nearly 6
That's literally what happened. You're either throwing the fucking dogs or the dogs you're throwing them niggas under the bus, okay? Because I know for a fact that
these were just shit dogs. They didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
If they weren't shit
they're
dogs,
a waste of your taxpayers.
The handlers were shit too. Okay, don't listen to fucking. It's like, could you imagine Caesar Milan has to go back and retrain them to find dead bodies? You shove one.
Oh, this
face.
one has been eating too many pork roasts.
Like fucking, bruh. I am the dog whisperer. I will get them to find the bodies again. Don't worry. Okay.
The snapping thing he does. Like, yeah.
Instead, the dogs can do tricks now, but they still can't find bodies worth of shit.
Yeah.
Watch this.
They'll bring the mail in, but they can't fucking sniff out bodies.
Come in, Camilla. She like jumps over the thing, hops, and does the
yeah.
And then they're like, "There's a body in this room." Literally, the body's laying on the table, like clear as day, and the dog is just walking around it, like, bruh. But like, I don't know. Next time I kill a person, I'll make sure to season them very well.
Yeah.
With fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Chianti.
Hours total of interrogation, detectives may just now be meeting the real Alex Kinyua.
I mean, this is. We have done it thousands of times, millions of times. I mean, this body is just.
Oh, he's getting into some true detective shit.
I can lose his body.
Time is a flat
circle. My family's body, so
it's a beautiful day outside. It's a very beautiful day. For me here, no matter what the mission, it's always coming back to As always, the mission is first. That's the skulls are getting cracked. No. Skulls are getting extracted. Their brains are getting extracted. You know what happens when skulls get extracted? Their brains get sucked out. Their noses. I'm gone. Please believe. The whole. Cool.
Following his confession, Alexander Kinyua was charged with first-degree murder and weapon carrying. Prior to a trial, he was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, and in August of 2013, he pleaded guilty but not criminally responsible. He was then indefinitely remanded to a state psychiatric facility. Though he was deemed unfit to stand trial, it is possible that he could be deemed competent in the future. Alex also pleaded guilty but not criminally responsible for the assault of Joshua Caesar.
Man.
Fucking sick shit, Herbal. This is what you keep me up for?
Listen, okay. The African people. All right, look, I'm joking. I've made my jokes about Africans today, but in actuality, this has nothing to do with his race. Maybe there was a little bit of, like, you know, the eating of the heart, that kind of thing, that maybe translated over. But this is just a sick individual who did a very fucked up action. Yeah. I think, you know, when you see, but there wasn't even that much of a, like, it was 2 days after he assaulted that one guy that he killed the other guy. So there wasn't much of a chance for, you know, anybody to catch that before. Yeah, man. I've been HerbalRemedyS. Thank you, Smellies, for tuning in and with me. Thank you guys for watching. Hit the like, hit that subscribe, hit the notification bell. You know what I mean? Check out the streams on Twitch. We're here most days. Going ham, going man. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one.